Hello, everyone. Welcome back. In this episode, I was just kind of looking around, and um, I'm always looking to get good information, and I'm on YouTube. Well, I got this gentleman here. I was watching, and it says cleaning gun and what is Bitcoin. So, as you know, I recently purchased an AR-15 pistol. Um, had a lot of fun with it, and kind of weird. I just bought an AR-15 pistol, and this gentleman here actually owns one as well, and is wondering what is Bitcoin. Actually, let's take a quick look at the video and see what some of his questions are. All right.
I want to talk about a couple other things because one got my hair cut yesterday. I was talking to my barber. He was telling me about Bitcoin, and I've seen Bitcoin before a couple times. I didn't really look into it because I didn't really give a shit. And then he started explaining it. I'm like, who knows? Um, is it at a time where it's about to go up? What is Bitcoin? Do you know about Bitcoin? Take a look at it. If you don't know about it, I'll put some information in the comments or something, and you guys can take a look if you don't know already. But if you do know about it, explain what you know about it. Have you used it? Use it to purchase stuff. I know some people have made some crazy money on it that had Bitcoin before it jumped up. It's up at like 600 something bucks right now, since I've been following it since yesterday. And the thing is, it's gone up and down, and they're saying that it's probably going to get up to around 2,000 bucks. So which means if you put in $1,000 worth of Bitcoin, and it's at 600 bucks right now, and it goes up to $1,000 bucks or 2,000 bucks, man, you're gonna be laughing, man. And then you just get out. How easy will it be for you to get out at that point in time? I don't know, man. That's why I want to look into this stuff. I don't want to just go dropping some money in it. I was thinking about getting just throwing like 20 bucks in or something, and just keeping an eye on it and seeing what happens from there. Something to keep an eye on every day, But then again, I don't want to be just one of those guys who feeds it 20 bucks and just never sees your 20 bucks again. Um, that's shitty too, right? So you don't want to do that. So if you've done it before, or if you do it, let me know in the comments, and we can talk about it, because it seems like it could be something pretty cool. Like, if there's a lot of money to be made in the internet somewhere right now, and people are going to be billionaires off something, I got a little bit of money. I wouldn't mind kicking in and watching it grow. Today, what I'm using is this powder
All right.
blast.
So I'm gonna stop it there, and that's pretty much of it. I mean, he's pretty much cleaning his gun, and he shows his AR-15 and talks a little bit about guns, which if you've seen some of my video, you know I recently purchased an AR-15, and how I purchased an AR-15, believe it or not, is because I made money off of Bitcoin. I didn't purchase it with my Bitcoin, but because I trade Bitcoin and I've made a gain through the arbitrage and the sale and purchase and all that, I'm able to afford basically a $600 AR pistol. Um, so, and with all the accessories, maybe a little bit more. But, anyways, answer your question, dear sir. I've been trading Bitcoin for a while. I have a lot of videos for you to watch. Let me try to explain the best I can, because it's kind of weird. Quinkadink, I don't know why. I do trade in Canada, so I accept Canadian dollars. And to the viewers, if you notice, he said $600. He's talking about 600 Canadian dollars. So this gentleman is obviously, I'm assuming, Canadian. So because the price of Bitcoin is not $600 right now, price of Bitcoin in US dollars is right there on Bitfinex, $437.25. So if I convert that to Canadian dollars, you get about 600 and something dollars. Let me see if I can get a little conversion calculator here and see what he's talking about. And so that's why I know he's Canadian, plus the shirt, and I looked at his profile. But anyways, he said $600. I'm like, what country or what time frame? But really, he's talking about Canadian dollars. So here's a price of 600 Canadian dollars converted over, and it's about 431. So the price is somewhere around there. So that's what he's talking about. Okay, so let's go back to this. Now, answer your question is, what is Bitcoin? I'm gonna probably just give you the most general, basic answer, and then I'll go from there. So Bitcoin, I think, is well. Here's what Bitcoin is. All right, it's basically it's nothing. It's just a number. All right, it's not physical in any way. So that's the first thing. And basically, it's you get a Bitcoin wallet, and the only way you can acquire a Bitcoin is either first of all you can either mine Bitcoins. In other words, you buy a computer that specializes to it's a very special computer specifically for connecting to, I guess you could say, the Bitcoin network. It's like a Bitcoin server, kinda. So how you get Bitcoins is if your computer successfully figures out the next block, or is able to figure out the next block and be added to the blockchain, you're rewarded 25 Bitcoins. Right now, it's very hard to do that, and you need to pay a lot of money into a lot of electricity, apparently, into first of all, if you can get a miner. Sometimes there's a lot of scamming going on, and then you pay a lot of money for it, and then you pay the electricity, and then also the difficulty goes up. So there's, I don't know if this is up to date, but you'll see right over here, you'll see some difficulty here. Well, and then there's the next difficulty, and there's a hash rate. So every time it kind of increases over time, and so that's one way to get them. By next year, June 2016, it is set to be half or halving. Basically, you get 25 instead of getting 25. Now you're going to get 12.5 Bitcoins every time you mine a new Bitcoin. So that's one way to get Bitcoin. Second way to get Bitcoin is that you buy it from someone who already has a Bitcoin in their Bitcoin wallet. And so what is it exactly? Well, it depends on I guess how you use it. It's money if all you're doing is you're buying Bitcoin and then you're sending that Bitcoin to a retailer. Now you're probably saying, why would I do that? I got a card and credit cards. Well, there's some retailers in the dark market, I don't know if you're familiar, that only accept Bitcoin. So that's another reason why people use it. They are using it as money. They are users of Bitcoin. So they're using it as money, as a payment. And they're using it to as a payment method because the Bitcoin network, the blockchain, is outside of any state or government agency whatsoever, has no control over it. So basically, it's like if you decided to buy a whole bunch of property all over Canada, let's just say, and you decide to build a fiber optic line on your own property for your own personal use. I mean, for your use, right? So you bought fucking, I don't know, you bought a railroad company, let's say. I don't know if there's any railroads in Canada, but let's say you bought a railroad company and you bought the rights to the railroad tracks. And this is commonly done all over the place here in America, where railroad companies have basically laid down the fiber optic network. So it's kind of like that. If you think of it as a private network, that's how you send Bitcoins in and out. So it's money. Other people use it as an investment, as a commodity or property. I think of property think of it as a real estate, where you buy something and then the value goes up and then you sell it. Commodity as in gold or stuff like that. It's tradable. You treat it as an asset class. So there's here in America, it's capital gains. So there's a lot of things you can do. You can sell your Bitcoin too. You can trade your Bitcoin for physical things in the physical world with other people directly. So if you can find a willing buyer or seller or trader who maybe, I don't know, I don't know how easy it is to get guns in Canada. I've had my issues with guns going to Canada. Um, so like if you know someone that has an AR-15 and they want to trade Bitcoin for an AR-15, great. You can probably do that too. And so that's for the most part what Bitcoin is. How would you use it? How do I use it? Well, okay. This is where I'm gonna ask you. Well, basically, what I do is I buy Bitcoins and I sell them in the open peer-to-peer market for the most part. And I also trade on the exchanges, and which here is a website called Bitcoin Wisdom. BitcoinWisdom.com. It's free. There's other chart websites that you can go to. As you see here, you've probably seen a lot. If you go to I do a lot of chart analysis. So there's Bitstamp, there's Bitsy, Bitphoenix, Hobu. There's a whole bunch of them. Let me see like there's a whole bunch of them. So wherever you are, there's some Canadian companies out there. Calvarex, I think, or where's there? Oh, well, whatever. There's some Canadian stuff out there. So there's exchanges. So I do trade on that as well. I speculate. So you can do a lot of speculating. I guess you could say similar to gambling, quote unquote, but it's not gambling, it's speculating. So that's what I do. Nothing too great. How easy is it to cash out? I would say it's relatively easy. I don't have a problem cashing out. Although I will tell you, I have never cashed out of an exchange. All right. Maybe I'll send money to an exchange to buy Bitcoin, then I take my Bitcoin out of there and put it into my personal wallet or into my company wallet or whatever, however you have it set up. For you, I guess it would be your personal wallet, which you can use any wallet. Some of the wallets that I've been using is a company called BitGo. They're just an online wallet, so there's different wallets. There's cold storage, hot wallets, paper wallets, a lot of weird shit you can do. And so I guess it's possible to cash out at an exchange. You could load your money to an exchange. I believe there's Coinbase in Canada as well, maybe Circle as well in Canada. So Coinbase and Circle, maybe some options for you. I don't use any of those, okay? And this is at the point where I'm gonna ask you. I guess this is a point where I'm gonna say, okay, you can stop right now with my explanation to you on what is Bitcoin, okay? And you can just stop the video right now. You don't have to watch any further. If that's beyond this point, I'm gonna warn you that beyond this point, it's gonna get weird. It's gonna get freaky. Okay. So this is kind of the point where now I'm going into my experience with Bitcoin. And if you go into my my channel or my profile on YouTube, you'll see that I have done a lot of videos on Bitcoin. Okay, you can watch it from start to beginning. If you want to catch up to that, it's a lot of videos. I got 253 or 54, 55, I don't know, over 200 videos just on Bitcoin trading and just about Bitcoin in general. So, so this is where it's going to get weird. Okay, really strange. Here's the thing about Bitcoin and what does Bitcoin mean to me and my experience with it. So Bitcoin, little history, creator Satoshi Nakamoto, and no one knows who the creator is. No one knows who Satoshi Nakamoto is. And because of that, I've said to myself, well, if no one knows who Satoshi Nakamoto is, then you can't rule out anything. if it's possible until it's proven otherwise, or at least until something can be eliminated, I guess. So anything's possible until it can be eliminated. All right, the possibilities, and because of that, since no one knows, you know, who, what, because, and I say what because we have to consider the fact that it's an entity of some sorts, obviously, and so I've thought about it, and I said, you know what, there's it's so weird. This is so freaky, and obviously the Satoshi Nakamoto is a real person. Did email, you know, takes a person to email, set up an email account and all that, and all that good stuff. Mined, Satoshi Nakamoto was the first person or entity to mine a Bitcoin. Estimated over 1 million Bitcoins in that's been mined by Satoshi Nakamoto. And so as the value has gone up, I mean, it's everyone kind of watches that. And basically, I started trading on the exchanges. And if that's the most you want to do, then that's great. I think a lot of people will do that, but I've gone and done more than that. I've gone beyond that. I've trade peer to peer as well, and not only do I trade peer to peer, but 99.99% of the time I never meet or know who I'm trading with, and this is where it gets freaky. Okay, and this is where you'll start falling into rabbit hole. And the way it happened to me was I was trading on Mt. Gox. Mt. Gox is a what am I? Well, Mt. Gox doesn't exist anymore because it collapsed. All right, they didn't. Turns out they got their Bitcoin stolen, whatever. So since then, I said, well, let's try a company or a website called localbitcoins.com. You may have heard of it. It's a website where you can put up a posting of your Bitcoin for sale, or you can make an offering for a purchase. I don't trade there anymore. Actually, I was asked not to trade there, and by local Bitcoins, and so I no longer do. And for some people, that would be devastating. But I traded not only there, but I also trade out of escrow. Okay, so local Bitcoins was set up for an escrow where the coins would be locked until the payment's made, and then as you as a seller can release the coins to the buyer, and it's all done on an internal server of local Bitcoins for the most part. And they kind of have a wallet, but they control that wallet, so they could lock you out of your fucking Bitcoins, which really sucks. Which has been happening by a lot recently. So, anyways, I no longer trade there, but I always traded peer-to-peer straight up, and word gets around, word of mouth gets around. It is very valuable for someone to be willing to trade peer-to-peer. You know, there's a lot of anonymity is involved in this, and this is kind of where I'm gonna now. You could probably do that and make money, no problem. But from this point on, okay, I'm warning you, if you want to stop the video, you can stop the video, turn it off, and walk away right now, and just say, okay, I have an idea about Bitcoin. Because about the next step, next thing I'm about to tell you, all right, is going to even get weirder. It's going to get even stranger. It's going to get into what I would it feels like dark magic, okay? And it's not bad magic, it's just dark magic because things are happening all around you, behind the scenes, in front of you, above you, underneath you. Strings are being pulled. You know, things. There's a battle going on. Okay, a war is being waged. You know, that no one knows about. So going back to Satoshi Nakamoto, all right. So no one knows who he is. So you can't rule out anything. So, um, and then I I got the idea or the thought that okay, nobody knows who Satoshi Nakamoto is, um, you know, and you know, bitcoins don't physically exist at all. They are virtual in nature, and you have to believe in the use of Bitcoin in order to fully utilize and take advantage of all that it has to offer. So you're being asked something, you're being asked to believe in something that does not exist. You're being asked to believe um, to you're being asked to believe something that you can't touch, you can't smell, you can't see. Um, you could say it's there, you know, obviously it's there. You look at the blockchain, but it's really not there. There's nothing there. It's just electricity for the most part, I guess, if you want to really call it something. And because of that, I've I've kind of put into focus that okay, there must be this creator who obviously creates everything, and I guess since no person is coming forward, I mean, there's been attempts to unveil Satoshi Nakamoto, but all those have failed, right? No one's really come forward, and the only way you can, you know, the sure way to prove it is, you know, moving the mined bitcoins, the first Bitcoin that was ever mined, moving some of those, and that would really kind of have more proof that whoever could do that probably is Satoshi Nakamoto, but that has not happened. So going back to you're being asked, all right, you're literally being asked to believe in something that physically does not exist in this physical world. It does exist only in virtual reality. Okay, so this is going to get really weird, all right, and I've kind of explained this in my video. And so I call this entity the creator. And, you know, this is kind of where it gets really like dark magic, all right? Or it becomes an experience that is really strange because a lot of shit is going on, a lot of things are happening, and, you know, it feels like there's forces out there that are battling, which I would call the secret war. And the secret war has been going on for a very, very long time, since the beginning of time, I would say. And you know, the secret war, you know, it's a secret, right? It's a secret war. So once you get involved in Bitcoin, I believe you will be involved in the secret war. There's no doubt about it. And so I call this entity the creator. And not only do I call it the creator, because since no person has come forward to claim their invention of Bitcoin, so that's kind of what I'm left to. Just calling some entity the creator and accepting the fact that I'm being asked to co-create, or when you how I see it or how I experience it is I am literally co-creating with the creator by using Bitcoin. And not only every time you use Bitcoin, you are building on the infrastructure. Right now, the blockchain is the only infrastructure. After that, you can do a lot more. I mean, you can, as whatever your imagination is. Oh, let me pause a little bit. All right, sorry about that. I had to take care of some stuff. Gosh, where the fuck was I? Oh, well, anyways, so how I've chosen to interact was basically co-creating with the creator to build the infrastructure of Bitcoin. So right now, all you have is just a blockchain, but from that, I mean, that's amazing. From that, you can start doing whatever your imagination can create, whatever your virtual reality that you envisioned, and you're able to take that virtual reality with your virtual Bitcoins and pull it through to this physical world. And you can literally create your world. You can create the new world, as I would call it. And so that's kind of that's kind of how I comprehend it. That's how I experience it. And sorry about that. That's how I comprehend it, and that's how I experience it. And the amazing part about it is, when I first got involved, I mostly did it for the money. And if you want to know, yes, I am making money, especially at the end of this month in December when the price has gone up, because I have been absorbing a lot of the Bitcoins, most of 2015, just absorbing as much as I can. And so, you're going to start getting some crazy things happening if you start going to that point. And, there's a lot of things going on. I have pushed the boundaries of how a Bitcoin can be used, because Bitcoins don't exist. You are literally buying and selling nothing. You are trading nothing for something of physical reality. And that's not even the crazy part. The crazy part is, if you get into trading Bitcoin on a peer-to-peer level, you will become the creator of money. So I say this, and I say this a lot. I co-create with the creator. And when you co-create with the creator, you become a part of the creator. And then when you become a part of the creator, you become the creator. And you hear me say that a lot. And it's so weird for me to say that, but I can't explain or try to figure out another way of what I'm experiencing. So that's one thing. The other thing that you will experience, if you do trade, if you get this far and you get this deep into it, you will understand how fragile your system is over there in Canada. All right, how very, very fragile it is. Also, how very deceptive, the system is. You know, I guess everyone's different, but I've gotten scammed several times. And let me tell you that when a transaction is reversed, it sucks, because you're going to bite the bullet. Once you send that Bitcoin, it is gone. It's not retrievable, not reversible. And that is why I only accept Bitcoins as payment. And I only use Bitcoin for the most part. I do trade in Bitcoin for currency, Canadian, Chinese. I'll take pesos. I mean, I will take a currency if I have an interest in that particular country, because one of the things I want to do is spread the use of Bitcoin everywhere. And I have to admit, it can get very, very weird, life-altering, changing. If you're still watching this video, it's already changed you. It's already changed you because of the fact that you're listening. And if you're lucky, to be chosen to spread the use of Bitcoins, I mean, you'll know it, because everything, not everything, there is an opposition there, which I call this particular entity the Dark Overlord. So that's the secret war, is between the creator and the Dark Overlord. And these entities don't physically exist, in my opinion, but obviously they can. I mean, this is my opinion, okay? So take it for what it's worth. You asked for what's your experience. You know, I'm going to tell you my experience. That these entities are at battle, at war, and they're not physical in any way, but the way they reach out to you, it's kind of interesting. You know, uh, how are how are you influenced? How are you captivated by these entities? Um, Let me talk a little bit about the Dark Overlord. Um, you you will experience, or maybe you will, maybe you won't. I don't know. But what does it mean? What does Bitcoin mean to me? It means freedom from slavery. Okay, freedom from slavery. All right. Um, so I that's why I trade Bitcoin, and I'm really deep into it. I challenge, I will challenge any state, I will challenge any person who tries to restrict the absolute free will and use of Bitcoin. And that's my experience. Anyways, I made this video for you. You can watch it or not. I kind of felt that there was a connection because I just recently did a video on an AR-15. You can actually watch it if you like. It's a pistol. I love it. Matter of fact, I'm here in the US and I take it with me everywhere. And I also go to Canada every year. So when I cross that border, I know I'm going to have to tell the border agent when they ask me, how many guns you own? They don't have to count. Let me see. One, two, three, four. And it's always like a couple more guns than last year what they asked me. How many guns do you own? I only own one. It was the first time I ever went to Canada. They wouldn't even let me in because I took my gun with me. God. And then the second year, I made it. I actually came through, made it through. I made a video on that. And asked me, how many guns you own? God, I hate those guys. Anyways, so I said, well, now I own three. I own, this, and that. And, now this time when I go, I'm going to say I own four. And one of them is going to be an AR pistol. And then next year I come, I'm going to be, oh, well, now I also own a rifle and all this and a shotgun. And I mean, it's just going to grow. I don't even know why the fuck they even asked me. It's none of their business. But anyways, I do go to Canada every year. I do travel quite a bit. So Bitcoin has given me my life back, has allowed me to break from slavery. All right, has freed me from enslavement. And so I know that's kind of weird for a lot of people to say that I've been freed from slavery. But that exists. It exists. It really does. And if you don't think so, once you start using Bitcoin, you're going to start seeing your reality change dramatically to the point that you'll never be the same person ever again. You can't go back. I guess some people do, but I can't. I can't go back. I can never go back now that I know the truth. And so if you're watching this far, my warning to you is, and it is a warning because this way of life is not for everyone. You will have to choose this life, and it's not an easy life. It's actually very difficult because the Dark Overlord and the Dark Overlord forces will do anything and everything to lead you astray. I've said this many times that I do believe in the future that Bitcoiners, people who own Bitcoins or use Bitcoin, they will be deceived. They will be deceived and they will be led astray. And not only with that, they will also be killed for their Bitcoins. And so, this is a warning. It's if if you want to take it this far, at least anyway, I don't know if you heard that New York, a couple of people in New York had been held up by gunpoint and also stabbed. So that day will come. I do believe it. That's why I got my AR-15 and and my other pistols to defend myself against those who would deceive me or lead me astray or try to kill me for my Bitcoins. Sounds dramatic, but yeah, it is what it is. So anyways, let me end this video. I hope that answers some of your questions. Please check out some of my videos as well. I did a video on the AR-15. I'm sure you would appreciate that at least. So anyways, there you go. This is the end of this episode. I hope this answers any of your questions. If you have any questions, you can leave a comment or do also a video response. Until then, I guess, well, bye-bye for now.